Well, hello. It's been almost a week since the Sunpan came into our lives, and I wanted to do a first impressions video about the Sunpan. For those of you who have questions about what is a Sunpan, I've never heard of one. There aren't a lot of them out in the wild, at least that you can find video footage of. I first discovered the Sunpan because of Ricky Hilson, Rewild Your Soul. And I'm like, what is this? It has a timbre all of its own and a sound that really intrigued me, as well as aesthetically. And there was a sound to it that was medicine that I don't yet have in my sonic medicine cabinet. So I went looking for one, and they are made by a man named Marty who lives in Germany. And so through Ricky, I got a hold of Marty, and he made a pan. He sent some photos and videos. He sent it, and it arrived at my house last Saturday, so a week ago yesterday. So the Sunpan is really interesting in the handpan world in a couple of respects. One of the things that you'll notice is that you'll notice, like, what are these things around here? Well, these are rivets, and so instead of being glued, the Sunpan has, I think that I counted 64 of these rivets that are securing the two pieces together. You'll also notice that there isn't a lot of definition on the Sunpan in terms of where the tone fields are. This is one of the things I like the most about it. It's very discreet. In fact, when you have it on your lap and you don't have the benefit of a light angle, or shadows, it's almost difficult to find where the tone fields are, and I love that. It asks you to be intuitive. The ding especially is not pronounced. There's not a big lump here, and so that's one of the interesting things. Another feature about the Sunpan that I really love is how thin it is. It is really easy to have on your lap. Your hands rest down further on it. Less tendency to want to pull my shoulders up to play. There is a sense, somebody mentioned the other day, it's like an extension of your hands, and it really does feel like that. It feels like it's just sort of molded over my legs. Also notice that the goo is not in the center of the pan, and I do not know why that is. You could ask Marty. But it is not at the center of the pan. What this does mean is if you have it on a solid surface, the goo is not covered, and so you can rest it on a table or a chair, and it doesn't change really the sound in any dramatic way. I should say that once I saw that Ricky Hilson had one, and I reached out to Ricky Hilson, Rewild Your Soul, I then realized that this was a pan that was used in a song called Son of God on the Touching Souls album by Cabasao, and it was also the first time I actually heard that song was Daniel Robato, an Italian player who was covering Son of God, the song by Cabasao, and that was actually the first time I had heard of Sunpan. I didn't know what it was. So those are places you may have seen it. I guess I should say also you'll notice, like, the coloration is, when I look at it, it's like staring into space. It's like looking from the sun at the pan, and the sun into the universe, into like the depths of the universe. I love the oxidization, the coloration on the pan. It is a blend of chrome and titanium and silicone and some other alloy that is what the steel actually is. It feels very, very secure in terms of tuning. It is precise. So this is the ding. Interesting thing about the Sunpan is that there are no fifths tuned into the notes. So you have the fundamental, and then you have the octave of that note. I will say the octaves are really easy to isolate. You can touch any part of the tone field and isolate that octave. I haven't quite got the left hand, one hand better. Not having the fifth does change the character of the pan. And I have lots of pans. Every other pan I have has the compound fifth tuned into each tone field. And there's something about not having it that can be perhaps a bonus. And why do I say that? Well, there are fewer sounds that are coming from the pan, from each note when I play the note. That has its own quality. You may like it, you may dislike it. Rather than like or dislike, it is a part of this pan that is distinct for me. And I have noticed that there's a settling. There's also a lot of sustain on this pan. Even if you're hitting the interstitials, there is music coming no matter where you touch this pan. That is interesting. I mean, all pans, if you really get after the interstitial, you will activate something. Even if there's a tight interstitial, something is going. You are going to hear something just because of how the still vibrates. But I will say this: there's a playability on the Sunpan that is very approachable. My daughter, who's 12, loves to play this. She instantly loved playing it. I have a number of Pantams, Handpans from different generations, and this is the one that she would reach for. She's in love with it. We jam every night. We didn't jam last night. Most nights before she goes to bed, we sit and we jam on this. And there's something about it that's very approachable. I think it's, there aren't really boundaries. There's something about that that's really special. My father-in-law played this and instantly was like, wow, what is this? Instant playability. So it has its place. It has its place in my collection. I'm really thankful to have it. Marty, if you're watching this, man, just amazing work. I'll say this, like, everything is very precise on it. The distance between the rivets, the way the rivets are turned, the edges of each shell, everything is just you can tell like that Marty has mastered this pan, and really thankful to have it in my collection. It's in the key of F sharp, at least the ding is in F sharp. It's fun to play percussively, and it's also, because of the long sustain, really dreamy. It invites you to play slow too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the introduction to the Sunpan first impressions. Cheers.